Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics. In this video, I'd like to discuss pretty much the final score on the government's Brexit festival, which ends next month. It cost £120 million and it was supposed to attract tens of millions of people to marvel at the spectacle that was Brexit Britain. The target was 66 million visitors. The actual result was fewer than 250,000. But very much like the Brexit it sought to promote, really. Cost a fortune, didn't do what it was promised, and hardly anyone got anything out of it. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So I talked about this festival earlier this year when it was actually taking place. Well, it still technically is for another few weeks. The ill-advised concept first came into being during Theresa May's time in office. She was having to take a hard line on Brexit to keep the terrorists in her party on side, and people needed to be assured that we were somehow going to be fine by isolating ourselves from the continent. Believe in Britain. That was the refrain from the Brexiteers. We can do this. And by way of proof, we were going to have a festival to showcase the creativity and innovations of the UK. That was the brief. Now, countries have festivals, of course. We had the Great Exhibition, for example, very popular. Nothing wrong with a national project like this to show people what their country is contributing to mankind. However, there were a couple of small flaws in the plan. The first is if you were going to have this festival just after Brexit, then any creativity and innovations you were going to be showcasing would be the UK's achievements whilst it was a forward-looking member of the European Union. See, if you want to show what the UK can achieve in isolation, you need to wait a while, a decade or so at least, for any projects to have their genesis on this side of Brexit, don't you? So all it could ever be was a festival of what the UK could achieve as EU members. Maybe this is why it didn't actually highlight any of the UK's achievements. Because, and this is what I talked about earlier this year, this festival of Brexit morphed. It changed so many times, but it eventually changed into something that they called Unboxed. Wasn't an expo. Wasn't showing off British innovations. It was just a series of immersive, sometimes interactive, may well have been fairly enjoyable events. The sort of thing you'll see in science museum and go, ooh, that's nice. May have been entertaining, but wasn't in any way promoting the UK's credentials for going it alone. Be like a teenager proving that they're ready to move into their own place and be independent, and to show you they're going to construct a sensible grocery list that just has Mars bars and ice cream on it. So even if it had attracted the tens of millions that aimed to, and when I say it might well have been entertaining, the fact that it didn't suggests to me it wasn't that entertaining. But even if it had have attracted that 66 million people or anything close to it, wouldn't actually be showcasing anything of value linked to our post-Brexit future. It would have been, at the very best, a look at our EU past. Then the second small flaw with the plan was that there wasn't a clear political aim to the project. I have to be honest and say that maybe we as a country were just not very good at these sort of things. Maybe we're just not good at doing national celebrations. Like, I remember the Millennium Projects. It was all a bit crap, really, wasn't it? The best thing we did was the Blackadder time travelling special. I think that was it. That was the highlight. But you could understand that we had to do something. We were coming to this momentous arbitrary period of time, and the Western world in particular was keen to mark the occasion. And for something that happens just once every 1,000 years, it needs to be grand. What we got was a big tent in London. And it doesn't matter how many times they show it on a James Bond chase to try and pretend it's a much loved part of London. It's a tent. So if we couldn't manage anything impressive for something like this, and that wasn't remotely divisive, everyone was up for it, how did anyone suppose we were going to come up with anything remotely useful to celebrate something that really divides the country and nobody could quite explain? I mean, what was the festival supposed to be celebrating? Like I say, it couldn't celebrate opportunities of Brexit. Like, I mean, I genuinely don't see any at all. I don't think there are any. I think you give it 20 years, there won't be any. although I think we'll be back in 20 years. But let's say you do believe that the UK can not only hold itself together, but achieve things of note that it couldn't as an EU member. The festival was planned while we were EU members and implemented shortly after leaving in the middle of a global pandemic. What was it ever supposed to show? But the way it's panned out actually is a pretty good metaphor for Brexit. It cost a lot of money, £120 million. Very few people benefited from it. Less than 0.4% of the target achieved. The people in charge of it kept changing what it was supposed to be all about. Once completed, nobody really knows what it was supposed to be for. Even the official website for Unboxed doesn't know what it is. It describes it as a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of creativity. What's that? What is a celebration of creativity? What's it got to do with anything? And how did it celebrate creativity exactly? How? And to cap it all, nobody really cared about the final product. Less than 0.4% of the target audience achieved. A classic case of someone wanting to do something, but without any sensible idea what or why, and the end result is a costly white elephant. It really was a festival of Brexit. I suspect the festival for rejoining the EU would be rather more instructive, only we won't actually need one. Because when you're actually benefiting from good policies, you don't need to spend lots of money trying to persuade people of it. They can see it for themselves. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.